Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from CK. And here's her story. I hope all is well in Florida. Please call me CK. I have been married to my narc husband for 24 years and have started suffering from the physical effects of that relationship. I saw red flags in the beginning, but allowed my narc mother to talk me into staying in the relationship. After looking at, see, and here's the problem. Look, I will never understand a parent when you go to a parent and tell them you're unhappy and you're being abused in a relationship and they know what the deal is and they still talk you into staying and being fucking miserable. I'll never understand parents who just don't want their children to be happy, wanting them to stick it out and stick things out and be miserable with abusers. After looking at your videos, I realized why she did not want me to leave him. She hated me from the beginning. Thank you. Since I was born, she hated me. Being married to him was how she was able to continue to mistreat me from afar. It's funny how you lie to yourself to stay in a toxic situation. Recently, my 22-year-old special needs son had been diagnosed with a major health problem. At this point, I realized I don't have what it takes to take care of him any longer. He's 22 with the capability of a 2-year-old. I have been changing his diapers for 22 years, and I am really, really tired. Yeah, that's got to be tough. That's tough. 22 years old with the capability of a 2-year-old is tough. I recently approached my narc husband about placement for him in a residential facility. Well, all hell broke loose. I was called a horrible person. I didn't love our son, etc. Well, is he changing diapers? Is he pitching in? Or you're just expected to be the servant? Could you imagine? I always remember when I was working security for ShopRite. I was like 20 or 21 at the time. And I was working in the Columbia Park store, which was in North Bergen. It was a tough store, Hudson County store. And I got called on the loudspeaker, security to the front end for, disturbance. And there was this special needs kid, and he was big kid. Had to be 15, maybe 15 or 16. Obviously, the capacity of probably a 2 or a 3-year-old. The parents were there. They were very old. And the mother looked at me and said to me in an accent as I came, because he was freaking, he was throwing things and laughing manically as he's just crashing down displays. And he's massive, and he was a big, strong, he was like a man, strong man. You could tell he's flinging these things. And the mother said to me, she's like, if you approach him, he's going to hurt you. He's that strong. And she asked, she's like, don't, please don't hurt him. Like, because I think she was figuring we were going to call more, because back then you only worked one security guy in the store. So he was just, and I remember the look on the father's face, and the mother was taking charge. The father was just standing in the bed, not saying anything, and I could tell the mother was kind of on her own on this. Like, the father was just kind of throwing his hands up. The mother's like, don't hurt him. And he's flinging displays. And I just looked at her face, and it's just like, this woman's in prison. Like, this woman is in prison because she loves her son. He doesn't know any better. He's got obviously the mind of a child and the body of a really, really strong guy. And I remember he was throwing these, he kept throwing these things, and one of the guys at the door, I think it was like one of the frozen food guys, dragged a display, put it in front of the door, like, hey. And the kid immediately saw it, went running for it, and just ran with it out the door and flung it out the door. And once we had him out the store, that was it. The parents had him. And I think there might have been a police car in the parking lot, and they knew the kid, and they didn't hurt him. The kid finally kind of just wore himself out after wrecking the front end of the supermarket. And I'll never forget the look in that woman's eyes, you know. Up until that point, you know, you see a special needs kid, you know, especially, you know, when I was still young at the time. But up until that point, you know, you know, R word this, and, you know, kids don't know any better. But that was the first time I saw, because I actually had to deal with it, and I saw the look in the mother's eyes, like, oh my God, what, like a prisoner. She loves the son. Obviously, you love your kid. There's nothing you can do about it. But you get to a point where there's just nothing you can do anymore. You can't control it. You need help. I only want what's best for him, and I don't want to wait till someone, him or me, drops dead. Then it is left all to one person. Well, during this past weekend, we went over to my mother-in-law's house. She's an alcoholic who doesn't bathe and always wants a hug. Well, during the visit, my son had a fainting spell. She knows he has seizures. She immediately says, I don't believe anything is wrong with him, and tries to turn the focus back on herself. My narc husband and his sister go in the next room to talk. The entire time I was left with his mother for 30 minutes. She talks about if they are putting her in a nursing home. What can I do, meaning me, about it to stop them? Meanwhile, I have a special needs child in front of her, but her only focus is about herself. Right, because she's looking for you to take care of her and not yourself. He's faking. You need to take care of me. Later, I decide I have had enough and decide to leave because my son needs his medication and I have to get out of that toxic environment. She starts saying, all you want to do is leave me, and nobody wants to be around me. My husband says the exact same thing to me when I talk about getting a job. I almost fell out of my chair. It was like I was listening to him in a 67-year-old woman's body. He doesn't want me to work outside the home, just in the house, doing housework and catering to him. I've been a housewife for 24 years, and I've gotten tired of doing that as well. And here's the sad thing. I think your entire family, husband included, see your special needs son as an anchor to keep you trapped. He's your ward. I've seen this before, and I've seen this with special needs kids before, and I think you're probably in the same position that woman in ShopRite 26 years ago. The look in her face and the disinterest of the father, just like, kind of just like, well, this is just what he does. She'll deal with it. He has been playing me using a script from his mother our entire marriage. I can't believe I fell for it for 24 years. Any comments would be helpful. My questions are, why do you think he wants me not to get a job? Why do you think he is against residential placement for his son? Because as soon as he's in residential placement, he'll realize you're going to bolt. You're going to bolt out of this marriage. You're going to bolt away from him. You're going to bolt away from his mother and his family and his sister, and rightfully so. You're in this position because, you probably ended up with a narc because based on how you were raised from your mother, because your mother obviously hates you and likes to see you chained down. The narcissist doesn't want you to cut your anchor. And I hate to refer to your son as an anchor, but that's exactly what he is for you right now. Your son is a prison. And it's just the reality of what he is. It doesn't say like he needs to be thrown away, or it's what it is. I mean, could you imagine having to be with a 2-year-old your entire, never get past 2 years old, but in the body of an adult male? And they want to keep you anchored down. That's all that is. The narcissist never wants you to lose your anchor. Because once you lose that anchor, and you wouldn't even lose him, you're just putting him in a care, somebody who can actually take care of him better. So maybe you can actually have a life. And then you'll realize once the anchor's gone, and I hate to call him an anchor, because he is your son, you're free to float away. You're free to cruise on off into the sunset, which is what you really want to do. Not abandon your son. You want to abandon this shit, which you have every right to do, CK. Why do you think he's against residential placement for his son? He's a retired law enforcement, of course. He's retired law enforcement since 2013 and has been home ever since. Right. Cop mentality. Wants somebody else to do it for him all the time. Civil servant. Wants somebody else to do it for him. Thinks... I just need advice, and any comments would be helpful. Thanks in advance. Signed, CK. I've learned so much from your videos. Thank you for telling your story with your narc parents. CK, I don't care what he screams about. Your husband's a retired cop. He's got a fucking pension for life with medical benefits. Don't tell me he can't. With his pension, if he's on a retired law enforcement pension, I guarantee you, your son's still got to be a dependent of his. Got to be on his medical insurance. Are you telling me his medical insurance, a cop's Cadillac medical insurance, isn't kicking in something for your dependent son's care? Bullshit. Bullshit. He just wants to keep you enslaved. He just wants to keep you anchored. The narcissist never wants you to lose your anchor, because then you're just free to go find your own happy sunset, which you are absolutely entitled to do at this point, CK. Okay? 24 years, what, 20, how old's your son? 20, 22? 22 years of raising an infant. And I know how you feel. I've seen that look. So I hope that helps, CK. Thank you so much for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like a private video made, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it growing, supported, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.